tomorrow, episode 3, The X Factor. So, in this episode, another one of our rogue aliens has landed someplace in space and time. This particular alien landed in 2040, I believe, which is the actual time frame that Zari and Beirad are actually from. Because, like, we as we forget, the two of them, they're actually from the future. They're not from the present. So, but and in last season, when we first met social media Zari 2.0, she was dating this Daft Punk guy that had like the mushroom thing on his head. And then there was the episode where she had like her perfume brand, and then the two of them broke up or whatever. So her ex-boyfriend ended up, becoming like a host of a game show. It's like an American Idol, The Voice, The Masked Singer type thing. It's called The King. And he's like the host of the show, or he's like last year's winner or whatever. And they're doing a new show to crown like a new champion for the show, like to crown like a new king. Now, this particular alien, he's trying to basically like take over the planet Earth, and he's trying to prove that he's the strongest and the best, and he's trying to actually become king. When he sees that Zari's ex-boyfriend is the king or whatever, he decides to go to the show and challenge him for the throne. Now the legends end up getting an alert because Gideon always finds out about potential future changes to the timeline. So in this particular timeline, Gideon shows the team footage of this alien actually walking up to Zari's ex and like stabbing him and killing him on live TV. So now the legends are like, okay, we got to go to 2040 and we got to stop this guy before he kills Zari's ex-boyfriend. So they all go down to the show. Zari and Beirad, they're now back in their own time. So now like, and remember, like Zari was a social media influencer. So her being at the show is actually a big deal. People see her, people recognize her, like they know who she is. John's Constantine, like he's rolling his eyes the whole time because he doesn't get the whole celebrity thing love. And the two of them have been struggling with their like non-relationship because they both actually do like each other. They both want to be in a relationship, but they're both afraid of having a relationship. So they're doing the will they won't they type thing. They keep saying that, oh, it's just like we're just hooking up, but they're really not. Like it's actually, it actually means something more to both of them. So now when they realized that the alien had entered the contest, they figured that the only way to defeat this alien and capture him is to enter the contest themselves. So they go down to the studio. Ava actually pulls off a decent trick where she told the guy, she was like, hey, listen, you're in the contest, right? So if you just come this way, we'll explain to you the rules of the competition. And she used it to trick him into the Wave Rider and to put him in the force field bubble. But because he has superior alien technology, he was able to like diffuse, like their force field, and he ran up on him. And then he was just like, oh, you cheated. You're trying to cheat me. I'll destroy your whole planet. And they were like, no, we're not cheating. We're just trying to explain to you what the rules are, because they're just like, this isn't like a duel to the death. On this planet, on planet Earth, it's actually like a singing competition. You have to perform in order to prove that you're the king. So he's like, I will prove myself worthy of becoming king. But now they're just like, at the same time, they're like, we can't actually let him win the contest because then he's going to try to take over the world. So then Zari comes up with an idea. She's like, oh, I'll enter the contest, it's like, and I'll defeat him, which is like her comeback as far as like her being a social media influencer, because ever since she left with the legends, her social media brand took a hit. So her going on this show is like her way of like rebrand, like, building her business back, putting new life into her business, rebuilding her brand. And she can also like save the world and save her ex at the same time. So, Zari, like, like she's in her dressing room, she's getting prepared for like her performance. And then her mom shows up because her mom's been calling her and Beirad, throughout the entire time. Because everybody saw the pictures, they saw the photos on social media with Zari, with Constantine. And then her mom was just like, oh, you left home to go date some random some street magician. She called him a street magician. She's like some random street magician, like in London. And she was just like, please, honey, don't tell me, like that's who you really love. And because like their whole family's all about like money and social status. So for her to get with like some random like street magician, it's like unworthy of the family name. And then she was just like, no, she's like, it's not serious between me and him, like it's just a fling. John overheard her say that, and then he felt some kind of way, and then he got all mad and he was being all pissy, and then so then now we're going through the competition. Zari actually performed very well. Like, like the actress that plays Zari, she can actually sing. Like, she can definitely hold a note. So, she makes her way through the competition. Like the alien makes his way through the competition. And now we're at the point where the final two people is Zari versus the alien, decide that who gets to be the king and who gets to wear the crown. Now, her ex-boyfriend the whole time, he was butting heads with Constantine. He was butting heads with Zari, and he was basically trying to like ruin her and destroy her reputation. So in order to jinx her, what he does is like Zari had written a song that she was going to sing on stage. It was a female empowerment song. Her ex-boyfriend got a hold of the song, gave it to the alien, let the alien go on stage first so the alien can sing her song. So now Zari doesn't have a song to sing. So now Zari's stuck. She's upset and she's like, "Oh, we've lost the competition." And then just at that moment, John's like, "Yo, why'd you tell your mom that you and I weren't gonna last?" And she looking at him like, "Bro, like this is like the most like inappropriate time to have this conversation." But of course, they have the conversation anyway. And then they just like go, they like he told her, he was just like he was like, he dead ass was like, "Yo, I really like you, and I actually want this to go somewhere." So he was just like, "Yo, it's really good." Zari doesn't answer him, and then she just walks out on stage. And when earlier in the episode, she was at Constantine's house, and Constantine was playing like this old song, this old British song, whatever, from a rock band that he knows. So I guess she was paying attention and she knew the lyrics because she ended up singing the song that she heard at Constantine's house, which was basically the song had something to do with like, I'm in love with someone I'm not supposed to be in love with or whatever, which is how the two of them describe their relationship. She sang the song, he got on stage and played the guitar, then other people played the guitar, and then it was all heartwarming and it was like all cozy and fuzzy, and then the fans ended up like, voting for Zari, and Zari won the competition, and that's how they defeated the alien. So then after that, the alien had to take a knee. He had to bow down to the queen. And then, he was just like, "I'm forever in your debt, your majesty." And then she's like, "All right, cool." And then they brought his ass on the Wave Rider. After they bring him on the Wave Rider, like he drops down to one knee again to kiss the ring of, of Zari Tarazi. And then his like mechanical suit opens up. And an alien like this big, he looked like a cross between Yoda and a gremlin or a Mogwai. And he got out of the thing, and they were just like, we were scared of this dude the whole time, and he's like 3 inches tall. And then he's just like, "Yeah, on my planet," he's like, "We build superior machinery and this, that, and the third." And then Mick Rory comes out of nowhere and just steps on him and kills him. So now I'm just like, really? I like, y'all could have let Spooner do that, like if that was the case. Because for Mick, during the episode, like Mick's basically been acting weird. He's been like grouchier than normal. They said he hadn't showered in days and he's been drinking more excessively. He actually hasn't been participating like in the Legends missions. And there was one point where he actually threatened the alien, and then the alien had to call his armada of ships to blow, and then he threatened to blow up the planet if Mick fired on him. And then Ava deadass, she was just like, "Yeah, what's the problem?" And Mick basically said like his problem was, now that his daughter's in college, she doesn't talk to him anymore. And every time she does call him, or when the two of them talk, she's always whispering, and there are boys in the background, and he feels kind of like left out. And then, and then he was just like, like Sarah's gone, I'm the only OG legend that's left. And then he was just like, if you were kidnapped on an alien ship and Sarah was here, Sarah would have found you like days ago. And then Ava was just like, "You're right, but I'm not Sarah, I'm Ava." And then she was like, "First of all, either contribute something to this goddamn mission or get off the ship." And then she was like, "Regarding your daughter, that's what teenagers do." And then she flat out told him, she was just like, she said, "It's not that your daughter doesn't love you, she just doesn't need you." And I was like, well, damn. I was like, just like that, huh? But then, Mick got it, Mick came around, and then he had figured out, because earlier when the alien was on the show, he was being interviewed, and they asked him how he came to this planet. And then they said that some guy, I forgot the person's name. It was a girl, it was like Kayla or something. Like a person named Kayla had captured him and put him on the ship to bring him someplace to fight, like to fight amongst like a whole bunch of other like, like the galaxy's best fighters or whatever. So then Mick was just like, we're chasing after the wrong ghost here. He's like, instead of looking for Sarah and looking for the people that want Sarah, he said we should be chasing the driver and the cargo, because if this driver is bringing all these people to this one person, if we find the driver, then we find out where Sarah is. And then Abe was like, "Yo, that's a good idea." And then that's the plan, like going forward now. Now they're going after the driver. They're looking for this Kayla person so they can hopefully find Sarah. And, regarding the episode with Zari, I thought they missed a perfect opportunity to have Zari and Bayrod on stage together, or even just have Bayrod compete in the competition, because I thought it would have been hilarious if Bayrod went on stage and performed a song called Bayrod Money. Like, we getting Bayrod money. Like, that would have been, I don't know why I thought about that, but I just thought it would be hilarious. And then for the Sara portion of the episode, Sara and Gary, because remember, Sara had got bitten by, Amelia Earhart in the last episode, and then like some people were coming towards them with like lights and guns. Gary ends up killing, the people with the guns and the flashlights, but then Sara looked over and she saw Ava off in the background. So then she goes chasing after this Ava person, and then when Gary had took off one of the masks of the people that came with the lights and the guns, it was an Ava clone. Because remember, like, 3 seasons back on Legends of Tomorrow, there was like in the future there was like a city or something that was full of Ava clones. I don't know how those Ava clones got on that planet, but the planet is flooded with Ava clones. So now Gary's just like, oh shit, I gotta tell Sara, but Sarah's gone. Sara ends up following Ava, and then when she follows Ava throughout the planet, the Ava clone, like attacked her, and then Sara was like, bitch, don't you think I recognize my Ava versus a clone? So then Sara fights the clone. She gets into a fight with the clone. She's all beat up, and then she finds this house. I guess like the clones were working for somebody. She goes into the person's house, and then there's just like this white dude with a beard, and he's like, oh, Sara Lance. So he's like, I've been waiting for you, have a seat. And she's all like bloody and everything. So now the two of them are gonna have this conversation now, because I think that the person that she's gonna talk to, he might be the person who had Gary collect like the world's greatest fighters, and this Kayla person collect these fighters. So I think we're getting closer and closer to finding out like what's going on here. And the situation that Sarah's in and the situation that Ava and them are in, like they may collide soon enough, or we'll drag this out a couple more episodes so we can go through all these, these aliens that are being spread out through history. So that was it. That was like I said, cool episode of Legends Tomorrow. Hokey and funny as always, just how Legends do it. It was nice to see Zari, actually have like an episode focused on her. I mean, I personally don't care about her relationship with John Constantine, but it was nice to see her mom back, and and to see them interact in their own time, like in their own time frame. Like I said, which was really dope, and which was really cool to see. I'm surprised we didn't get OG Zari, since we were back in her time with her mom and everybody, but it is what it is. So we'll see what happens next week. So thank you for thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think about Legends. How long does Mick stay on this ship? Because the writing is on the wall for him to leave. Like they keep bringing up the OG Legends, and they keep bringing up, like him not being happy, and they're bringing up his daughter. Like Mick ain't staying on that damn ship. It's just a matter of time. But I mean, I in my guess, he'll be gone. Mick will be gone by episode 7. That's my prediction. Like once Sara comes back on the ship, that's when Mick's gonna be like, okay, I'm out. And then Sarah's gonna be like the only OG member left. And we're supposed to get the 100th episode of Legends this season too, so we got to keep an eye out for that, and what cameos and actors and characters might come back. Me personally, I'd love to see Hawk Girl return, and I also would like to see Jax return as well. So like I said, thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment down below about what you thought about this episode of Legends of Mañana, Legends of Tomorrow. Hit the notification bell. Leave a comment, like, and or subscribe. Instagram, hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on YouTube, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll continue to talk about all this superhero goodness. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So for the X Factor, the Legends of Tomorrow, I'm out this bitch.